Hey everybody, coming at you with some more OP01 gameplay between Blorple Crocodile and Kaido. Before the game gets underway, I just want to take some time to thank everybody who's tuned in so far and everybody who will be tuning in the future. I really appreciate all the support, and I'm looking to continue to get more games out. I'm looking to do, one a day for, as often as I can. So I have some more games coming up on Saturday, so I'll hopefully get some more out next week as well. Opening up with the Trafalgar Law here, and my opponent's going to open up with their blocker, and I think to myself that this could be a good opportunity for me to drop the Jack, and so I'll drop Jack and I'll swing at the Kaido leader, and they will opt to counter it, unfortunately, but getting some good aggression down early and forcing them to use resources. They'll swing at my leader, and I will block with Law. I don't want to take anything early against the Kaido. Then they'll start with an Onigashima Island here, and they're ramping up pretty fast, and that card is pretty crazy. So I'm going to decide to use the Jack effect here to swing at leader, and I'm hoping that I can force them to get rid of cards that they will need while simultaneously putting aggression on them. But they're going to opt to take the life here, as well as I'm going to play the Law, and then I'm going to slot a card under my leader and swing at the blocker. They will take that with ease, and now they have 7 Dawn already because that Onigashima Island ramp is insane. They'll tap 5, play Queen, and then I'll return 1 Dawn, and the trash that I just made them do, they've just recovered their hand, they replenish it with the Queen, and that's one of the unfortunate things here about playing against purple with this style of deck, is that they're going to swing at my Jack here, I'm going to counter it with Willow Breath, and yeah, that puts me so far behind in Dawn, it's crazy. Like he's at like 7 Dawn and I'm at 4. So I'm really losing the ramp game here from the Dawn perspective, and I don't really have a good way of recovering Dawn. I don't play Onigashima Island. I don't really play any cards that set Dawn, and so I'm thinking to myself, well, if I keep attacking his hand by swinging at his leader, as well as trashing cards from his hand, I can maybe get some advantage here. So I'll play Missile Sunday for another blocker just to protect myself. And I will swing at his leader, return 1 Dawn, force him to trash a card from his hand. He'll trash the ulti, and he'll block with Queen. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe if I swing at his Queen here, with my Croc at 6k, force him to block it with his other blocker. At least I'm getting bodies off the board. Unfortunately, Queen is 6k, so she is a big body. And I have a lot of small bodies in my Jack, and though I've already forced him to trash 2 cards from his hand, he still has about the same amount of cards that I do in hand. And so I'll block myself Sunday and I'll return Blast Breath to hand, and then I'll use it on the next swing and return another Dawn back to my deck. So again, my last turn, I just nullified it. I had 6 Dawn and I'm back to 4 here. So I'm really losing the ramp battle, and them having another Queen in hand just means that my Jack has been basically useless, and all of my Jack swings have been pointless for the point of trashing cards from their hand. So what I've done has not worked, and unfortunately they have like the exact same amount of cards in hand as I do, even though I forced them to counter a bunch, block a bunch, and trash cards in their hand. So this is a 6 Dawn turn. I'm going to use Jack effect again, I believe, because I really just don't have any answers for their board right now. So I will tap 4, 5 here, 6 here, all 6 here. I'll play the Queen of my own. Sorry, tap 5 here, sorry. Play the Queen of my own, draw 1, shoot, trash 1, trashing the King. And then I'll swing and I'll turn 1 again to attack his leader, and he'll block that swing from the Queen. And then I pass turn back, and again, that's another turn where I just used 2 Dawn, and it was just disadvantageous to me. And now I'm in a spot where if he brings down the big Kaido, which he has enough Dawn for, I lose everything that I've built up on my board, and I don't have anything to ramp up with. So he's gonna swing with Queen, I'll block with Law. He'll swing at my life, or at my I'll Queen and I'll block it, and then he'll swing at my life. I'll have to take that one for the first time. And then here comes the big Kaido. So I have whittled him down a bit to 3 life here, and well, he brings out Onigashima. So at this point here, I'm not looking in a terrible spot. I've still managed to stay in the game, but resource wise, I'm pretty far behind. I'm down a body on board. I'll never be able to really deal with this big Kaido, so all I can really do is play out some blockers here. to deal with that, unfortunately. And that's my best kind of answer in the situation. I will play a Miss Double Finger, and then I will swing at Kaido here, just to put some more pressure on. They're going to take the life, which actually makes me feel pretty good, and maybe a bit overconfident in the situation, just because now I'm thinking that next turn I can get on the aggressive with Double Finger and Crocodile, force him to use some more resources from hand. He's going to swing on my leader, and I'm thinking about if I want to counter that, and there's no way that I really can counter it, unfortunately. So I'll just block it with my Law here, and then he'll swing on my leader, and I'll take that life. I probably could have countered it, but I didn't want to play like a Blast Breath. And then there comes the King to just delete my Double Finger, unfortunately. So I'm not really able to keep any bodies on board, even though that would be more advantageous for me. I have 8 Dawn at this point, and I really want to set up a 7-drop Crocodile, but I know that if I drop the 7-drop, I will not be able to, 1, counter any of his attacks, or 2, deal with additional aggression. So I'm just going to drop Double Blocker here, and then I'll place it on underneath my leader, and I'm going to swing at his Kaido here, force him to use some resources from hand. He will counter that, and he'll pass back to me. I've left it on open for a counter card play here. Unfortunately, I'm not really setting up for anything other than just to take swings and chip with my leader. And he's got 2 huge bodies out, 12 and 7k, so all I can do is use my Missile Sunday as a block and bring Blast Breaths back to my hand. He's going to swing at 10k with his King, and I'm like, there's no way I take that, right? Like, I have the blocker on board, and I'm thinking about it, but in reality, I should take this play every single time. I'm just saying that if I had one more Dawn, I could double Blast Breath, but again, that would put me so far behind in Dawn again. I'd be back to 8 to 6 again, so I'll take the life. I think that's a mistake, though. I think I should have kept the blocker up, but in the grand scheme of things, I could block this attack as well. So I was going to take 1 swing to the life, regardless of how I played it, I think, but I do actually Blast Breath this, so I don't even have to use my blocker, which is actually not terrible. I'm in a decent spot in case I want to continue. He uses Onigashima again to just keep ramping up, and I feel like Onigashima Island is pretty broken. I know it's a dead card in hand when you have one on the board, but if you open this on turn 1, there's not a lot that most decks can do to deal with it, and there's no like removal tools, so he passes turn back to me. I have 9 Dawn this turn. At least I can maybe make something happen. I'm thinking, well, if I can't delete his guys on board, then I'm pretty screwed. So I'll play another Missile Sunday, and I'll think, let's load up my leader and swing at King to delete him. Force him to use a bunch of resources here. He's going to use Thunder Bagua, and then again, just having 10 Dawn here. And there's nothing I can do. I just pass back turn because I really cannot answer that play. But, I mean, I'm down to 1 life here. I do have 2 blockers out. So as long as I don't have to take too much damage, I can still win. However, if he does have Rush Kaido, then I basically just lose here, which he does look like he has. So he's going to use the Kaido leader effect to pop my life and then swing twice with him, and I will decide to counter it. Blast Breath, and then he's going to put 2 underneath, and I have to block that with Missile Sunday to take back the Blast Breath. And yeah, Missile Sunday is a really great card because on KO you get any event card back, but in this matchup I never got any big bodies that could stick on board. I would have had a great opportunity to play one after the big Kaido came down if I didn't misuse my Dawn so badly. But again, this is the first time that I'm playing the Blurple Crocodile, and it plays a bit differently than most decks, so a few misplays here and there. But I definitely know, what I did wrong, and I could have kept swinging with my Jacket as security, as life, sorry, without forcing him at trash cards. I was getting too hung up on making him trash 2 different cards to take those things, but he had blockers and he had queens to replenish his hand, so whatever I did not matter, unfortunately. I remember throughout the game, I was like, how many cards in hand? He's like, 6. I'm like, how do you have 6 cards? I made you trash like so many cards. I used 4 Jack effects, so 4 trashes from Jack. And I thought that would be enough to get enough pressure down, but I think the double queen was just too much in this game. And I'm just talking about if I have a chance to win here. And I'm like, I can get rid of one of your guys for sure. And I have, I think, a blocker in hand, but I have no way of dealing with the next, the big Kaido swing. And so I think I'm going to scoop it up here. Unfortunately, there's no way that I can win. If you guys did enjoy this gameplay, again, continue to watch, continue to subscribe, and like the videos. I'll be releasing a lot more One Piece content. Until next time, Monty out.